Welcome Conjurers, I'm Dicebag, and this is my solo campaign for Crytures, a monster collecting tabletop RPG I'm working on. I just wrapped up an adventure last time, so I'm about to send out my third party of creature conjurers to make contact with a camp of tribesfolk and see if we can get on good terms with them. I'm testing out some new mechanics this time, so we'll see how this works out. Alright, so we're finally starting off on a new little adventure with a new team, no less. So, the other guys, the other two teams we sent out are taking a break. Actually, one of them probably went out at about the same time these guys are going out as far as the game calendar is concerned. But these guys are on their way to this hex right here. This hex contains a small camp of tribesmen that they're going to try and make contact with and win over. And this is, of course, their starting point. Their little village over here, well, town with some villages. So they've got this empty hex right over here that we did not get to explore when we sent out the scouts the first time. So we've got a little bit of a challenge right there just from the unknown. Now these guys are a little bit more socially adept than the last teams I sent out. They've actually got some ranks and things like persuasion and whatnot. So hopefully they're able to actually do something with the tribesmen. And I've actually got some new game systems I'm trying out, some new random tables and whatnot, to handle these kind of impromptu, procedurally generated social encounters, you might call them. And yeah, that's what we got. We've got Florentine over here, a Viridian Mender from, well, a Mender from the Viridian Order, and one of his friends, a Squire from the Viridian Order. We haven't had Viridian Order guys with actual Kree-beans yet, but these guys over here are kind of their signature creature. It's come from the mythic creature that the Duke over Root Run has, because in Creatures, having a mythic creature is what imparts nobility and land ownership, more or less. And these guys are things that the Verdant King produces that they can give to lower ranking members and kind of reward them and help keep them in line and all that. There's a whole bunch of lore to it. I won't get into it all, but our third member is Philip from the League of Magi. So they're tagging along. The League wants to have, their own presence there because making contact with tribal people is kind of a thing that scholarly institutions might want to do. And then, of course, these two are here. Well, Johan is here because he's kind of a muscle. Florentine is a little more of a diplomat type, I think. Maybe not. Maybe it's the other way around. Yeah, actually, it looks like Johan is more of a diplomat. He's the leader type. Yeah, he's got a couple in persuasion. Johan is the persuasive one. Philip is good at questioning people. He's got inquiry ranks. And one in persuasion, too. Florentine is there in case they get into trouble, I guess. He's there to patch up their injuries, and boy, they brought a lot of medical supplies this time around. Look at this. These guys are stocked up. I can't zoom in any further, but they got 15 rations. They got 30 medical supplies. They each brought 2 water skins because I keep running out of water. But yeah. Main reason I stocked them up so much is because I expect them to go in here and do some trading with these guys, and so they're going to want to have some supplies on hand to kind of win these guys over. And then, of course, they might, hand off some binding crystals to these guys to help them out. So that's kind of the plan. We're going to go down there, right here, excuse me, and we're going to see what they want. Because we don't even know yet. I haven't prepared anything except random tables. So, let's just get right into it, shall we? This is the path we're going to take. Pretty simple, right? Alright. So, they're starting out in the morning, of course. And let's see. Travel says we can travel through spaces up to 6 density in total, plus the lowest speed of the party. And I believe the lowest speed is like 4. Let's see. Philip is 4. Johan is 4. Okay, all these guys are 4. They're all kind of slow a little bit. That's about as low as it gets. Well, nah. You can get as low as 3. Without armor. But yeah, they're not super quick on their feet, but they are going to be going through 10 spaces of density in a day. Now this one here is 4 density, we know that. We don't know how much this one is, but there's no way it's going to be more than 10, I can tell you that. Because I made the actual tables, and there's nothing big enough for that. But the main thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to assign roles to begin with. So let's see, where is our solo session tracker? Alright. Let's clear all this. We got the last group up here. Florentine. And Philip. And Johan over here. Then we've already had a guy with a psychic down here, so he's not really a new creature to deal with, but Cree beans are new to this playthrough. I haven't really tested them out very much yet, so we'll see what we got. I forgot to stock these guys up on torches. They probably need some of that. Maybe I should do that right now before we go anywhere. Which, let's see. How much do torches cost? Just 1 cash? Like, weigh 1 pound? Oof. Florentine ain't carrying much more than he already is. Wait a second, when did these guys get so bogged down? Let's see. Oh, man. I didn't make much room. That's kind of important, actually. Let me take a second here, and we'll just do this off screen. Alright, I think I've got it figured out now. We got them a couple torches apiece because we probably need that just in case, but we had to sacrifice some space for food and medical supplies, so we don't get to bring as much of that as we wanted. But that's probably not going to be a big deal. Hopefully they, well, if they want supplies, that's kind of a general category that I've made up, so it's all kind of, what do you call that? Fungible. You know, one thing can stand in for another. So anyways, we're going to get right on to the adventure. Good thing I caught that before I started running this. Otherwise, I would have just had to go with it. So, like I said, we're going to start throwing out the travel rolls here. So we need a navigator first of all. Navigator requires sense plus survival. So who's our best sense and survival guy? Let's see, Florentine's got 4 sense and 2 survival. He's probably our best one for navigation. So we're gonna put him on navigation for the first action. So when you're doing like passing time, where you're counting things down in kind of like daily turns, everybody gets like 3 actions. They've got a labor action. What's the other one? I have them written down somewhere. A labor action, an idle action, and then a rest action. And obviously the rest action is for sleeping. So you usually don't want to use that one for something else. But what else do we need? Let's see. We probably need a tracker and a guide. So the tracker will keep an eye out for creature encounters. We're not really looking out for any kind of points of interest or anything. We just want to get through this hex without trouble and get to the destination. So we're going to look for somebody who can do sense and zoology. Let's see, does anybody have any ranks in zoology? They do not. So we're just going to have to pick whoever has the highest sense. They actually all have fairly high sense. So what's... Better question, what is the guide use? Intellect and survival? Okay, who's got the high intellect? Obviously Philip, the wizard, yeah. Okay, that tracks. Let's see, no ranks in survival, though. That's a shame. Let's see. Johann is not very smart, though, so he's probably not a good choice for this. So we're going to go ahead and give the guide job to Philip here. And the guide will be looking out for, like, environmental hazards and stuff like that. Johann ends up with tracking duty, so he's going to be keeping an eye out for random creature encounters. Oh no, not that. Tracking. Put his name down there instead of his job. Alright, so now that we've determined what their jobs are, we're going to generate the first hex. So what we're going to do, let's see. We need to bring up our tables. We're just going to roll a big old handful of dice. This is how we do it when we proc gen everything. And we just go down the row. Luckily, Roll20 puts everything in just a ordered list, so we can just go right down. I've actually been trying this out with physical dice because I got 100 D10 in the mail a while back, and it actually works out pretty well. It's actually pretty easy to just throw a handful of dice and be like, okay, this is this, this is this, this is this, and you got a hex. So that's what we're doing. 9 is our first one. That means it's Wet Woods, the Wet Woods. Alright, let's get ourselves a Wet Woods hex. Map tiles. Let's see, here's the Wet Woods. Alright, Wet Woods has a density of 3. So that means it's got 3 features that we're going to roll. And since we rolled a whole bunch of dice, we're just going to take the next 3 dice. So we've got a 5. Which is... Wait a second. Okay, yeah, that's correct. Never mind. I was rejiggering with the tables a little bit, and I'm not sure if they're completely filled out. I can see a few gaps here, but I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal. We'll get to it later. So we're going to go over here and make a note. 5 is a sub-creature, which we are not going to be looking out for, but it is there nonetheless. Actually, there's going to be 2 of them, because the next one is a 4. So this thing is packed with rare plants and whatnot. And it's also got a terrain feature. Alright, so We just use the 1. Next is the 8 for the terrain feature. That's a cliff. So we're gonna have to do some climbing. That's nice, because the hex we're going to also has a cliff, and we're gonna have to climb. Alright, so let's see. Let's go ahead and deal with the cliff right now. So let's see. I'm gonna pull up my rules for that. Crossing this space takes 1 additional travel point unless each party member makes the following check to climb down. You know what? We probably have plenty of travel points, quote unquote, because I don't think I've ever used that term in other places. But we can probably just go around it without having to risk the thing, without having to risk getting hurt climbing the thing. So we can just take a little longer and go around. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Because right now we got a density of 4 and 3, that's 7. We got a whole 10 movement points. We got plenty of time to get through this. It's just a couple hexes away. So we'll go ahead and just spend the extra time. We won't have to worry about it. Now the next thing we're gonna have to do, let's see, we're gonna leave the sub-creature types unclear at this point. So since we're not actually looking for them, we're not gonna find them. And that's because we don't have a forager doing foraging. But we do need to make a random encounter check. Let's see. The way we do that, we just roll 1d10. Actually, we should have rolled 2d10. No, wait. Okay, that's something I haven't actually updated yet. Well, I did update it in the other table, so we'll just copy and paste those. So anyways, let's see. I'm gonna say the encounters trigger on a roll of 10 minus density. So we're looking at a 7 is triggering an encounter. We rolled a 4, so we're not there yet. No encounter in that space. We will do one for the second space though. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. 6. Okay, that's a density of 4, which would be a 6 as the target. So that does trigger an encounter. And what? No, let's just roll a handful. What kind of encounter do we have? Let's see. First one is a 9. 9 is humans. Okay. So then we're gonna come down here to the humans. Wait, we should be using this one actually. I'm already seeing that I should, I need to update some of these. So 9 humans, 3 is the type. We run into some tribesmen hunters. Okay, we're trying to make contact with the tribesmen, so that's good. Numbers, 8 is the next roll. So 8 of them. That's like half the camp. And then next roll is a 5. So 5 hostility. They're kind of neutral. And you know what? We can go with has and wants right off the bat. Let's see. 7 plus 3, or 7 and 3. So what do they have? They've been around the artisans. Okay. You know what? We should actually, like, roll this out. So they've come to these guys, this group of 8 tribesmen, out on a hunt. What do we want to do? Let's see, they're not hostile, so we kind of give them a greeting. We want to keep our creatures put away, probably. Having creatures out is probably going to put people on edge. Which I could have had them out traveling with us, but didn't really need it for this specific this little thing we're doing for traveling. So I guess the first thing we're gonna do is kind of see what they know about the camp we're looking for. So let's see, this is a job for Philip. Philip has he's got 2 inquiry and probably gonna be using sense. Let me take a look. I wrote up some specific rules for stuff like this. Let's see. Yeah, let's do... Okay. We're gonna handle this kind of like an investigation, which is something else I've been working with, but haven't really fully fleshed it out, so we'll kind of play around with the mechanics here. So let's see. First of all, we're going to establish a complexity for this this investigation. A 7. Okay, 7 complexity. That means we need to score 7 successes here before we can really get anything underway. Now, do we have a turn limit? Let's see. How many turns do we have? 1? Ain't no freaking way. Okay. You know what? Maybe it'd be better if we said, like, if we put it at, like, maybe 10 minus hostility or something like that. I'll have to think about this in more detail later, but, you know, we'll just go with that. 10 minus hostility, so we're looking at 5 turns to convince them. So let's see. Philip, first of all, he's going to interview these guys and try to find out if they know anything about the camp they're looking for. So we've got 4 intellect plus 2 inquiry. So we're rolling 6d10. Hostility is 5, so I think that's our... Oh, it says difficulty 6. Alright, we'll go with that. Nonetheless, either way, he scores 3 successes. Okay, so Philip gets these guys to open up a little bit. They're wondering, like, why... How do you know about the camp? What do you want to... Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to find our camp, huh? Philip shows them some of the stuff they've got. Says, you know, we can offer some trades. And let's see, who's next? Johan is probably the next best one. What does Johan want to do? Johan can kind of just engage in small talk with them. Let's see, sense plus persuasion. That's another 6 dice. And that's 2 successes. 5. We'll rack it up to 5. We're shooting for a complexity of 7. Alright, so Johan... Let's see, it says your next interaction gets a +1 roll modifier per success. That would kind of be wasted on Florentin, not gonna lie. He does have, he does have 4 sense, though. And 4 intellect. So it might be worthwhile. So we're just gonna roll the 4, and Florentin's gonna keep coaxing information out of them, showing them what they have for trade. Ooh. Yeah, he scores 4, 10, 3, 8, and 8. Oh yeah, that's plenty. Yeah, Florentin shows him all the neat stuff. He shows him his freaking weapons, his magic rods, his talisman. Like, we can set you up with good stuff, man. Just show us the way to your camp and we'll work something out. And the tribesmen are like, ooh. So yeah, these guys have definitely kind of gotten on the good side. We're going to go ahead and count that as like a success in the grand scheme of things, so we're going to knock a hostility off the camp itself. Now the camp actually starts at 7 hostility. We're going to knock that down to 7 since we just had a successful encounter with their hunting party out here. So they're gonna make the rest of the way there. And let's see, that was the encounter for this time, the humans. So now they make it to the camp for their second action. Now they're gonna have to kind of talk around the camp and see. I guess they've probably came back with the hunting party. They had some time to kill, so they don't need to actually rush or anything. So they've come back with the plan with the hunting party, so they're not alarming anyone. They can vouch for them. And they're gonna, let's see, Philip is gonna start checking out the camp and asking around what they actually have and what they need. So let's see. Intellect plus inquiry, right? Intellect or sense, maybe. So 6d10 either way. And we'll set their hostility as the difficulty. So we got 839955. Okay. That's 3 successes. That should be enough. The camp is a size of 3, so I think they're going to be like 3 wants and 3 wants and has and wants. That's what I've kind of put these under. So we'll roll. Let's see. We're gonna we'll roll these one at a time so we can make a decision on which one we want to go for. Let's see. 4. 4 is a site location. Okay, they know about a point of interest around here. That might be useful, but it's not like something specific. Let's go ahead and ask for what they need. 4. Okay, they've had trouble with creatures. So this is where the adventure begins. So they're having some trouble with creatures, and they know about a point of interest. We got one more we can generate, so a creature hunt would probably be worth quite a bit in terms of bargaining. So we're going to go ahead and ask for something else that they have. what else they might have. Rare sub-creatures, okay. Interesting. So let's do a little bit of an oracle. Is the site location where the creatures that they're having trouble with are from? Lows no, highs yes. No. Okay. So the creatures are not from the place that they've scouted out. Apparently they don't know where the creatures are from, unless that's one of the things we haven't sussed out from them yet. Because we do have 3 more that we could get. Let's see, can we perhaps... Let's see, we already used Philip. Florentine might be useful. When does Johan? Johan has no inquiry. Okay, we'll have Florentine do this next one. Because he's got the most dice to roll. Ooh, he's rolling good. A 7, 10, 1, and 1. Oh, though. Oh, double ones. He has no skill in inquiry, so any ones that are rolled trigger a crit failure. So while he does figure out what they want, he kind of pisses them off in the process. He's a little too aggressive in his questioning. So we're gonna bump that hostility back up to 7. Florentine kind of pissed him off in the process of asking so many questions, but he did get the questions answered. Alright, so we'll go ahead and roll for the rest of them. Let's see, 3d10. 9, 3, and 9. Ah, I see. They have a magic item here amongst them. I should be putting this stuff in the tribesman entry. Has, let's see, site location, rare sub-creature, and a magic item. And their wants... creature hunt. And what's the next 2? 3 and 9? Okay, supplies. We got plenty of supplies. And weapons and armor. I don't know if we can part with too many of those. We didn't really bring a whole lot of extra weapons and whatnot. Which kind of implies that they might not be interested in parting with their magic items, because it's probably a piece of armament. But they don't really have anything at the site location that's specifically a problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of cobble together a bit of a side quest for these guys to go on. They've got a creature problem, so that means if they want to get on the tribesman's good side, best way to do that is going to be taking care of the creatures that are attacking them regularly. And then they'll be able to pick out something is kind of a reward in trade. So let's see. What kind of rare sub-creatures do they have exactly? Let's see, we should be in the wet woods, and it's not completely filled out, so Doesn't matter. 3. They got some glitter beans. Not a super high quality sub-creature. But something nonetheless. And what's the other thing we need? Alright, I'm gonna wrap up the episode here. Thanks for watching, and since you made it this far, don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But most importantly, leave me some feedback in the comments. The game is still in development, so I'd like to hear what people think. And if you want to see more, I've got all these sessions on a playlist that you can watch back to back. There's also a bunch of links in the description for other places that you can find creatures. So, until next time, farewell, conjurers, and may you walk the waking dream.